is a team who started off 10-4, and as we sit here and record, as they come off of a 41-point loss in Miami last night, they're 12-10, and they are having a lot of soul-searching moments. They are obviously not in the Cup quarterfinals, but we have to talk about what the hell is going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not even going to sit here and pat myself on the back when I said I wasn't sold on them as contenders in the Western Conference when they were sitting atop the Western Conference when we talked a few weeks ago. But this is why I was concerned about them. I know they're dealing with stuff. Austin Reeves injured, LeBron James, ups and downs. I guess what the hell is going on with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, before I get to the Lakers, I realized I didn't make a pick for the Cup championship. I just said who's going to advance out of the first round. I wanted on the record the Thunder are winning the NBA Cup.
Thunder winning it all. Okay.
This is going to be their opportunity. Shea MVP. And this is going to be their opportunity to prove, like, all right, we're a serious contender. I mean, they're already a serious contender. Them winning the NBA Cup doesn't validate them as a serious contender. But it's going to be their first chance to win something as a young group and use that as momentum moving forward. Now, shifting focus to a lesser team in the Western Conference.
The defending champ, last year's champions.
Defending NBA. See, if I was as good at segues as you were, that's how I would have done it. But you had to do it for me, and you know what? That's why you're in the lead chair, brother. But but with the Lakers, I mean, they started off really strong, and it felt like this is a team that, all right, new head coach, new schemes, new energy. They got the DJ at practice, vibes are up, everything's going good. And, it feels like all of a sudden that has come to a screeching halt. At the forefront of those issues, I don't know if you saw the stat that we tweeted out over at the Underdog NBA account the other day, but fourth quarter usage, Anthony Davis is 6th on the team during this terrible stretch that they're in right now. That absolutely cannot happen. He has had back-to-back games with season lows. He had 12 points on Monday. He had 8 points last night. They're not getting him the ball in the fourth quarter. It's been a lot of LeBron, who, using his words, these are not my words, not very good offensively right now. And, he bounced back last night and he had a better game. He finally knocked down a 3 after missing like 19 in a row or something like that. But, it feels like right now this is a team that there's not a lot of cohesiveness. They even said it after the game last night, like LeBron and AD both said it, like schemes are in place. They're not putting it on the coaches, even though Redick is trying to wear it and have the coaching staff wear it a little bit. He said the players have to take accountability on the floor as well. But it's like, at some point you have to realize that the Lakers, like, yes, LeBron is still going to give you 20 some odd points. He's still going to be LeBron James. He's still passing the ball at an extremely high level, but he can't give you 110% every single night for 82 games. Like, it's just not realistic. He's about to turn 40 in a couple weeks. Anthony Davis has to be that guy. How many off seasons in a row have they sat at Lakers media day and they're like, yeah, like the team runs through this guy now. The team runs through this guy now. And it's like, has the team ever actually really ran through AD? And this kind of goes back to what I've said in the past of, like, Anthony Davis, when he is driven and motivated, I've said it on this pod 1,000 times over, he's a top 5, top 7, top 10, like wherever you want to put him, undebatably top 10 player in the league when he is trying his hardest and he is engaged and he is, trying to dominate in everything. He's everything that he was dubbed to be as a prospect back in Kentucky when he dominated during the NCAA tournament run. Right now, he does not look that engaged, and they're not doing a lot to get him involved. And they don't have enough talent around LeBron and AD for those two guys to be going through the lull they're going through right now. So, like, I don't want to say it's as simple as that, but like it also sort of feels as simple as that because they can't rely on D'Lo and Dalton Connect and, these other guys like Rui Hachimura. Like, those guys aren't going to carry you to wins in the NBA. Like, they're good complementary pieces, but it's got to start with LeBron and AD. And as of right now, like, that to me is the biggest issue. AD isn't that engaged. He's not that involved right now. And LeBron is kind of just going through the stretch that you would expect out of a 40-year-old who has accomplished everything he could possibly accomplish in this league in the first week in December, kind of just going through the motions right now. So, like, is it panic button time in Los Angeles yet? I don't think so. But, there is a point where they have to right the ship before the pendulum sways too far in the wrong direction and they can't get that momentum back.
Yeah, I like the way you put that out. The first thing I'll point out is I agree with you. And it felt like that shift was happening at the beginning of the year because there was such an emphasis on Anthony Davis and his production. He had a couple big performances out of the gate to start the season. His usage was probably where it needed to be. And I know there are ebbs and flows throughout the course of the season, and it's a luxury to have a duo like him and LeBron James where, it's sometimes it's my night, sometimes it's your night. But it feels like sometimes the pendulum breaks. and like it just swings back one way and it doesn't go back the way it should be. And it hasn't been, this easy transition of one guy being the guy to another guy being the guy. I know I had the theory that, maybe LeBron is such a big star and who he is to the league, who he's been for the league for the past 20 plus years, 22 seasons, it's almost impossible to take the torch from somebody that massive in stature. The other thing I was going to point out, and I think that is a good way to explain why I had my reservations about this team. You mentioned the supporting cast and lack of talent, so to speak, and oftentimes why they always talk about making some big swing in the trade market is that the guys that they're relying on to be consistent contributors are talented players. And this is not meant to be a knock on them, but they should be a peg lower on the totem pole. But the guys that you need contributions for are probably better suited to be guys who would be a luxury to get a big game from. Where you think back to a couple years ago, and I still had these questions a couple years ago, but like when they beat the Grizzlies in the first round of playoffs, it's because Rui played out of his mind, right? And like you don't necessarily want to have to rely on him knocking down 4 or 5 threes and going out and scoring 17, 19 points in the game to win a game and to win a playoff series. But that's where they are right now. That's how this team is kind of built. It's been the curious thing with getting Jared Vanderbilt back in the lineup. Apparently he's not, might not happen until January. He's been out since that game where somehow the Lakers without AD and LeBron got a win at TD Garden last year. That probably one of the most confounding victories in all of the calendar year, but I digress.